Yeah, we're good to go.
Cool. What's up? We're live. Hopefully, last 3 outs of the ALDS. What could go wrong? Going live with 3 outs to go. Is that a beer or a seltzer?
It's just a seltzer.
Take a seat.
It's just a
I was gonna
seltzer. It's
say.
boring.
Well, I was gonna say, dude, almost 11 o'clock beer on a Thursday.
Well,
is
it's does
brave.
everything at this point. You know.
I'm nursing my sore throat with some hot water and
You know how many times Bevan tried to get me to go outside to look at the stupid lights
Oh, the Northern Lights. Apparently,
Yeah,
they
that
were
you-
pretty wild around
that
me.
she can't even see?
Yeah, me
That's
too.
one. That she can't even see unless you take a picture of it and then it's on
All
your
right,
phone.
one out, baby. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like all the pictures that Leanne was showing me were enhanced. I was like, "There's no way that's what it looked like."
I felt the same way.
It just looks like that on your phone. They're not,
I was
even,
like,
they're
if
not
it-
enhanced. It's the night mode that makes it look like that.
Okay, whatever it is. I'm like, if it looked like that to the naked eye, that would be like national news. Everyone would be talking about how amazing the sky looks.
I hate to break it to you, it was national news, but the last thing I need right now is Sal Perez doing anything.
Apparently,
Nothing
Like,
hurt
like,
with him.
I knew, like, I always knew Kansas City to be a hitter's park, but like, hasn't it felt like a freaking
Did you
like
see the
national
wind graphic,
park?
though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the wind graphics were saying it was knocking it down. What, 4 or 5 feet?
I saw
I mean,
9
that's-
feet
that's
in
two
like
home
left
runs.
feet in right
The-
field.
Yeah,
there's
for
been-
sure. That's 2 home runs.
There have
4
been a couple of that were right there. So,
5. The park just feels like it's playing huge.
yeah. Well, it is a big park, and then the wind is making it play bigger. So, I'm
feel like
thankful. I
after-
1,000%
thankful for the wind.
thought that the ball off of
I thought
Cole's-
Isbell's was
Yeah,
gone
that
off the
that
bat.
was gone.
Yeah.
I had the same feeling as was that 2019 of was that a Valdi?
Valdi?
When the game we were at the CS.
In 2019?
Oh, Valdi was no. You mean when
Not
Didi?
not a
What are you
Valdi.
talking about?
Not a
Didi?
Valdi. No. The CS.
Uh-huh,
It was
I know what you're talking
the Canadian.
Canadian.
I have no idea
Big
what he's
maple.
talking about.
Paxton? Oh, yes.
Oh, the ball to
It was
the
the
wall.
ball
Home
to left
run,
field.
the catcher for the Astros. Left center
That
field
ball was
into the
caught
gap.
too.
Yeah, that my heart was in my nuts on that ball as well.
After Sal Perez hit that home run in Game 2, he's really done nothing in the series.
Whoa, hey, ho.
He's still up, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he just struck
No, he's
out.
not. He did strike out.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
okay,
I
I'm
thought
fully-
I was in the clear there.
Me and Scott were on the same page on that one.
I'm behind you on this one.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I just saw him whiff.
God damn it! How far am I back? I'm on YouTube TV.
Oh, you're far back. Definitely.
Hey, Sal Perez just struck out.
All right, 2 down. 2 down, 1 to go.
And
Yeah, well, let's not ruin it.
It's
not
gonna
ruin-
be ruined now.
Let's
now
not ruin
Moon
it.
wide. How far behind are you, Andrew?
I think I'm probably a couple seconds behind you, Logan.
Yo, first of all, oh, come on, baby. Let's go.
Good thing it's Gurriel as the final out.
40-year-old career.
Yeah, 40, probably actually 57 years old for all we know. Stanton, man.
Cole, man.
No, Cole today, but like Stanton in the series, just like showing
Staying
up.
in the playoffs.
All right, now I hope the game
19th
in
ALCS.
Cleveland goes 19 innings.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal that Cleveland won today, and that the
Yeah, 'cause
Tigers have to use Screwball.
Scooble has
Scooble's
to
pitching,
throw.
yeah?
That means
Yeah.
Scooble can't pitch until Game 3.
Yeah,
Who's
he's.
pitching for Cleveland.
I don't know. Let's see. Screwball's 2 games max in the
All right, so-
LCS.
Should we just start?
They don't have a listed starter.
Yeah,
for
just do the start so he
Guardians.
can. We're live right now, but we're going to start the show. And so do the regular intro so that we can cut it for audio.
Okay.
Bang biscuit.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripes Show. Yankees advanced to the ALCS. Scott and I were just live for the final 3 outs. The jinx did not happen. We were like, we got on now. What could go wrong going on final 3 outs? Listen,
Judge with a fist pump. Fuck yeah.
Do you
love
think? I mean, this, by all accounts, is a pretty tame series up until that benches clearing incident in the sixth inning, which was very very obvious what the Royals were doing, trying to just rile up their bench to just get some life into it. And it kind of worked because right,
Yeah, of course it did.
They got
the crowd got energetic. You could feel the
Sure.
crowd doing something, and that's why I tweeted out. I was like, "Cole, just end this now." And then
Right.
as soon as I tweeted that, they got to run.
right.
He hit that
Yeah,
double,
because they
but
scored the run with nobody on and 2 outs in that inning.
I don't
But-
care what you say, whether it's manifested or not, whether you're like trying to just make it happen. It's real. When there's energy in the crowd is going. The players feel it, and it creates a pocket of momentum. If Cole shuts up if Cole strikes him out, it ends. I mean,
Right.
only one run, so like nothing hurt at the end of the day. But yeah, that energy, that is where the home field comes into play on those opportunistic energy moments.
What did you think of Jazz just like immediately running over? Because like obviously
I loved
Jazz.
it.
Okay, so you did because
I loved it. Hell yeah, he got his back.
He's
he knew it-
inserting himself though into like because he's
Yes.
clearly he knows. Okay, I said something after game 2. I've been booed these last 2 days here in Kansas City. I haven't.
That
done-
wasn't it. He did not think about that at all.
I think
in
that's
that
why he
moment.
was over
No,
there.
hell no. You
Okay.
just think those things about everybody. What he did is he
What was he over
reacted.
there for? No.
He reacted to what was happening because he was because Vulpi, who's the nicest kid in the entire planet, the fact that he was in like an altercation is hysterical.
Well, what's his name? Massey went in late on that slide.
It wasn't Massey, it was Garcia. Garcia
Oh,
definitely went in late
Massey hit the ball
with his
yeah.
cleats up. Like it was he went in late. So but Volpe just doing like the pat on the back, the extra pat on the back. It was just funny because he's not that guy, and that's what Jazz knows that he's not that guy, and that's when he started yapping, he started barking. He had his back, and I loved it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he should do.
I think Jazz.
I
I think
appreciate
Jazz was on another level because he knew he kind of stuck his foot in his mouth after game 2, and then was hearing boos all.
I don't
these
think
last
Jazz
2
cares
games.
what he said.
I don't think he cares as
truly
well.
believes that he stuck his foot in his mouth. I think he doesn't care. They just won, so I don't think he gives a shit. I don't think he gave a shit when he said it. I don't think he gave a shit the next day after the reaction. I think all
You don't
of
think it
us-
affected his play?
No, I don't know if that affected it. I don't know if it affected his play. He hasn't done anything, but
Well, he had a good game 1.
yeah, he hasn't done. I mean, since the comments, he hasn't done
Yeah.
anything.
It was only
So
2
maybe,
games.
but you never know. Yeah. Hey,
So what's the
Gerrit
story? What's the
Cole-
story for the? Yeah, it's Cole's
It's Gerrit Cole.
Cole's
Gerrit
the
Cole
lead.
came out.
Yeah.
The story of the game is Gerrit Cole came out, and Aaron Judge got a hit. Aaron Judge hit a double.
He hit a double.
After what looked like much better at bats yesterday. Then a couple more walks today as well. Double. Like
You're skipping over the first inning at bat, which
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm
after the
skipping
first
over
2 batters.
because I'm talking about the positive things on
Okay.
the game. The series clinching game. That's what I'm.
Well, you
talking
brought up Judge and skipped over the at bat that kind of put a wet blanket on the momentum of the night because the first 2, double, single, okay. Waka's not that great of a pitcher. Maybe the Yankees put up a crooked number here in the first inning, and this is just an easy cruising victory in a clinching game. And he
Double
has to
play.
ground into a double play. So come on, that is a bad at bat. That's the 3rd time in the series in 4 games. First game, second game, 4th game. Judge comes up with runners on base in the first inning and kills the rally.
Yeah.
He
All
needs
right.
to start hitting. I know he got a hit today. It's great.
He got a
He
double.
ended up scoring a run.
He got a double to lead off the inning. Started that and walked a couple times.
Sure.
So good.
Better-
It was a
better-
good game for him.
Better offensive performance tonight than any of the first 3 games. All I'm saying
doubt.
is start doing some positive things with runners on base, please.
And the Yankees were just like a hit parade today. They were just all over the place. And they didn't score a ton of runs, but they got a bunch of hits. And it
8
felt-
hits, 4 walks, 3 runs.
Yeah. So, but they there was a lot of activity on the base path, a lot of
What's the
lot
term?
of traffic,
Oh, the traffic on the base.
a lot of
paths.
traffic, a lot of.
Well, they
traffic on the
did.
base
I
path.
guess they made their hits with runners in scoring position count because they did go 3 for 10, which is 300 batting average with
good,
runners
yeah.
in scoring position. So 10's a lot of opportunities. 3 hits. They were all run scoring hits, obviously, with Soto in the first, Glaber in the 6th, Stanton in the, Glaber in the 5th, Stanton in the 6th.
Yes, correct. And it was good stuff. And Stanton still just continues to hit. He continues
2
to
hits
hit
tonight. Yeah.
big moments. The guy is just he's built different in the playoffs. It is he's got a different thing. He even talked about it in one of the post games. I saw him talking about how he does get into it in that moment. It's a do or die type situation. It feels more pressure, and he likes that. So,
You know what's interesting because
I love it.
Because, well, first of all, I believe we have more of Bob Costas for the ALCS, right? Because TBS has the ALCS broadcast.
The other booth could have the ALCS though.
Yeah, there's
But
multiple games on TBS.
Costas is, I thought Costas and Darling are the A group. No?
Are they?
Well, it would
I don't
make
know. Maybe
sense,
they're just
but-
in the American League. I'm not sure.
Well, the other American League, the Guardians and Guardians and Tigers are the other one. The
Are
National
they the
League
other
is,
TBS? Is Fox
Yeah.
just in the National League?
Yeah.
Fox gets the World Series every year, and Fox alternates the championship.
Okay, so then yeah, we'll
series
probably
every
have
year.
Costas most likely.
We'll probably have
Who's the other
Costas.
booth?
I don't know.
So we'll probably have Costas and Darling.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
would think Costas is the A just because of his name,
Well-
not his performance, but his name.
so obviously he reminded everyone multiple times that how Judge strikes out a lot in the playoffs, and for a player like him striking out in the playoffs, blah blah blah, like you could see how that can happen because guys strike out in the regular season, that translates to even worse in the playoffs. That has not happened for Stanton though.
No, it has not. His geriatric ass is hitting and running around the bases, and he actually got a double on that last one, so it was good. The guy is the guy is just he's rising in the moment, and more people need to drink whatever the juice that he's drinking and get locked in.
Do you think this is a situation where for Stanton he's like, I can lock in and get my body good for like a short sprint, right? Like I can do the 100-meter, not literally the 100-meter dash because I think his legs would fall off, but in that analogy,
Would they? I mean, they keep
he
saying
can do,
that they will.
He can do the 100-meter dash of the playoff sprint, but he's not gonna go for the 26.2-mile regular season marathon anymore.
That's fine. You know what? That's fine. Honestly, all I gotta say,
I'd prefer it that way. That's true.
what I was asking for, but in the last game, I think on our last post game, is like, at what point are we gonna just risk injury with him and just open it up?
I don't know. I don't
we're
want to
get-
risk injury right now. I want him in the
Not
lineup.
yet. Maybe not yet.
Okay, for
But,
a World Series,
they go a
World
little
Series
further on.
clinching game because
If
like
they go a little further on, then yeah, let's stretch it. If you got
In
to
all
score,
serious-
you better freaking score.
But in all seriousness, the Yankees offense was not good in this series, and he was like the best offensive piece for him
By
and
far.
Glaber. Him and Glaber were the two best offensive pieces, okay? And they're separated by 4 batters in the lineup. You take one of those out, if Stanton goes down, that is a massive loss out of this offense right now.
Soto didn't do
He was
huge
fine.
things, but
He was
got
fine.
RBI,
He got on base.
He got the sac fly last night, RBI, and yeah, he's been
Judge
he's
and
been taking his
Wells
walks.
killed a lot of offensive momentum because Glaber and Soto were decent. Glaber was good. Soto
been
was
good. Glaber's been
Soto
a
was
catalyst.
defense. Soto was decent. Judge and Wells completely killed that momentum, and Stanton luckily was there to clean up whatever was left on base from Judge and Wells struggling this series.
Yeah, no doubt, and they need it. So that's a good sign. That means other guys are stepping up in the lineup when you need them. And when we're looking at what the regular season was, that was a key piece that was missing. Where was that other? And there was certain guys played that role at certain times. Stanton had his moments. Wells obviously in July was fantastic into August, but they're seeing more. And Volpe's had a good series as well. I mean, it was
What was Volpe in the series? I believe he got 3 hits in the series, right?
3 or 4. And
He walked a couple times. I mean, shit.
he was on base- he was on base a
Everyone
good
walked.
amount. Everybody
Everyone walked. I mean, the Royals.
It was a good strategy to keep your bat on your shoulder against the Royals.
No,
pitching.
the Royals pitching gave so many free.
How many did they walk today?
4.
Okay.
So
I think
So
Volpe
8,
was
9, and
light
4.
light work for them today.
Yeah. Game 2, they didn't walk a ton either, I don't think.
I think Volpe is 3 for 12.
3
with
hits.
3 walks.
Okay, so
3
on base
walks.
6 times in 4 games is good.
Yeah.
And that's positive offensive production out of someone who is hitting at the bottom of your order.
I'll say it again, too. I like John Birdie in the lineup. I like John Birdie in the field.
But you know what,
I like John
Oswaldo?
Birdie.
Well, first, I want to talk about John Birdie in the field, but Oswaldo also has been on base a bunch in this series.
I know, but I don't.
Well, clearly,
I don't not like Cabrera, but I like John Birdie.
why
I
did
like the
John
way he
Birdie
plays.
start game 2 and 4? And why did you like, well, what, I don't, because I guess so Birdie was in there game 2 against lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Why did,
Because they want Cabrera on the left side.
okay, right, but then why didn't Cabrera start tonight against Waka?
I don't know. It's a feel thing. Did what Birdie's numbers against Waka?
Birdie's numbers against Walker Scott when we did the preview were pretty good, smaller sample size. I think he had a double and an RBI 2 coming
then
into
why
this.
didn't he
but
start
why
game
Uh,
didn't he
one?
start game 1 then?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
It's
because
not.
I don't know why he didn't start game 1, but
I mean, Birdie was great defensively. Like
Very
for
good
someone
defensively.
for someone who's never played first base professionally, what didn't just look good, like made difficult plays to make for first baseman. Like that double play
Yeah.
to field, tag, and throw to get the runner at second base. That was the play that ended up doing the benches clear. That's a very difficult play that a lot of first basemen
it's a lot of
F up.
footwork. It's a lot of
And you've
footwork.
got to be accurate with your throw so you don't hit the guy in the back running to second base. Like that is a high level throw.
100%. It's a really tough angle. It's like a quarterback throwing against, the other way against his body. It's a tough throw, and just like footwork wise, you got to get your feet in the right position to be able to even make that throw. And I think just the guy's an athlete. He plays all
You
over.
see him
the
do
place.
the split.
He's a hockey goalie.
You see him do the split over there at first.
Yeah. He's flexible, pliable.
It's great.
Over there. Okay.
No, I mean, so who knows if Rizzo's going to be back for the championship series or not? But I liked what they got out of first base this series. Like first base was going to be a black hole, we all thought. And Birdie played good defense. Cabrera was fine, and they both were on base a couple times. Like you can't ask any more out of that tandem at first base than.
Are you surprised that we
Play
didn't see
good
Ben
defense.
Rice one time?
No, why? What's the point of Ben Rice if Cabrera and Birdie are both going to play good defense and both get on base 1 or 2 times a game?
Well,
That's all
before
you can ask
knew
for.
that Birdie was going to play that level of defense, are you going into this?
No, I think Ben Rice
he was
is
gonna
there.
get at least one.
I think Ben Rice is there for emergency only. I think.
Yeah, I think so now for sure. Like, he definitely is. And the
No, but I
fact
think-
that
I
Birdie,
think that
obviously they
was-
saw Birdie playing, and I'm sure they've seen him in warm-ups in the past as well, and they know what his glove is. But they obviously had a lot of confidence in him going into the series to play first base. So you're right. I don't think it was really a consideration to have Ben Rice even over there. He was just there as a body.
I think it was if injury happens.
Yeah. Or extra innings, you need a body.
Right, you needed a pinch runner or a pinch hitter, and then you need someone to play first base.
Did you know that Duke Ellis learned how to run by watching and talking to his father? Did you know that? And his dad, he's a major leaguer. So
I didn't understand that one.
yeah, he that's
I
how he
didn't
learned how to
understand
run.
that anecdote. Yeah. You know how I learned how to run? I watched the movie Forrest Gump growing up.
Okay. I bet your dad had something to do with it too, though. I bet
Maybe.
maybe he showed you how to run. There was just so many unbelievable nuggets throughout the game, that you just got to pack away and bring out
Well,
later.
the fact that the games themselves, I mean, aside from the fact that the
They're
Yankees
the
won
secondary.
the series,
It's a secondary part
but
of the
like
conversation.
aside from the fact that the Yankees won the series, which is obviously great, like they weren't the most thrilling of baseball games you're going to find in the postseason,
No, they
especially
weren't.
when you compare it to some other games going on around the league, like back and forth action, late
Yeah.
leads happening, walk offs, and all this stuff.
Every Mets game, which we didn't even
Yeah.
say anything in the last show
Because this is
about
not
the
a Mets podcast.
I understand, but you know what? The Mets are playing their asses off right
Let's
now.
worry about the Mets when and if we see them in the World Series.
But that was those games in the National League have been freaking.
Really good.
All of the playoffs have been fun to watch. I've
Sure.
been watching all of them. I've been locked in on all of. This is the first year in a long time I have been. Probably because the Yankees are in it still. And, they're like-
And the Yankees have a legitimate chance and
Yeah,
should be in the
exactly.
World Series.
Whereas
Yeah.
in past years, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not watching this bullshit. I've had enough baseball.
But so
But now-
what I was saying is, not only did we have to deal with kind of like, milquetoast games, but then this broadcast booth of Ron Darling and Bob Costas is just like, holy crap, is this painful to listen to?
Yeah, I know. It's been really bad at times. Costas,
Like Costas is like, is he on this planet? What does he? he's still calling baseball and talking about baseball as if it's like 1986.
Yeah.
And he's just like, who do you think you're talking to, Bob? Like, is your target demo just like the 86-year-old dude that is asleep on the sofa right now? Like,
Yes.
who are you talking to?
No, he's talking to the person that's asleep. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. He's whispering sweet nothings into their ear because they couldn't make it for the entire game. But look, I'm gonna go back. Can we get back to Gerrit Cole?
Can we get back to Cole after first I tell everyone about Navage nasal care?
Yeah, do
which
that.
makes breathing easier. Breathing is the most essential act for our bodies. It's why congestion, sinuses, allergies, and colds can all take a big toll on our well-being. Even though this is all true, nasal hygiene for some reason is not a part of our everyday routine, but it should be. Navage believes every breath you take should feel effortless. It uses smooth saline flow and gentle patented nasal suction to clear nasal passages. When you use it can work in as fast as 30 seconds. Plus, it's drug-free and uses 99.9% pure saline salt pods with no medicinal side effects. And there's some other benefits you might not be aware of, like better sleep, less snoring, and reduced headaches. I've been fighting illness all week. This has been a tough week for me, if you could not tell, between just fighting a cold. I had a stomach bug earlier this week that the kids gave me. But my Navage nasal kit has helped me breathe easier than I would have otherwise. I cannot recommend this thing enough. It's so easy to use, also very easy to clean. It all comes apart in different pieces. You just rinse it out in the sink, store it in your cabinet. I really do like this thing. I've been loving it, and I know you will too. Start breathing easier today. Order the Navage starter pack. It comes with everything you're going to need to get started. Plus, our listeners can get free cleaning kit as a gift only when you order through our exclusive URL, navage.com/Bronx, and use promo code Bronx. Again, to order your Navage and free cleaning kit, for full product details, go to navage.com/Bronx and use promo code Bronx at navage.com/Bronx. What do you want to say about Cole?
I want to say something about Vulpi again first, because Tony in the comments just reminded me. He also ripped that ball down the line that was unfortunately right at the first baseman. That was a double play because of
when Jazz got doubled off.
Jazz's bad luck. Yeah.
Why would that's not a play? Again, how is Jazz going to get back on that? Like,
oh no, it's bad. You can't do. It's bad luck. Literally, it's bad luck. You can't do anything about that. It's a line drive hit right there. There's nothing to do. But the
no,
he was.
Vulpi,
I don't know.
Vulpi was good in the series.
He was seeing the ball well. He was seeing the ball well, and was having good at bats. Even his outs were.
Aside from the error in Game 1, he was good in the series.
Yeah. I don't even remember the error in my head right now. I'm trying to.
He threw the ball away trying to turn a double play.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, he was good. No, but Cole. So back to Cole. Cole, obviously, the story of the game is Gerrit Cole, and he came out and did exactly what he's paid to do. This is exactly why he's here. This is exactly what he signed for the New York Yankees for. And there's a true opportunity this year for him to come out there and make a huge difference and actually have the Yankees make a run. As I'm choking.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happened there?
Sorry, I'm choking. But his fastball was electric. He was dotting it. He was the command was there. And when we know when Cole has the command of the fastball, everything else works that much better. And he's really difficult to hit at that point. And he was fired up, and you could tell. And it was I don't know. He seems like he can turn it on, and he did today. And he went deep in the game. Yeah, he went deep in the game. By far the best outing. So that's a true playoff outing.
Of course, 7 innings is by far the best start the Yankees got in the series. They hadn't had a deep start all series, and they need. I'm not.
He's
saying,
the only guy that they would allow to go deep.
Also. I'm not saying this was a must-win game because obviously Kansas City had to win it, or else their season was over. But none of us would have felt good about going back to Yankee Stadium with Carlos Rodon on the mound. Okay, no. So this, in all intents and purposes, was a must-win game for the Yankees, and Gerrit Cole stepped up and pitched well, and they won the game. I thought he was pitching pissed in a good way. Like he's very, very deliberate, very engaged on everything. Sometimes he can get a little frustrated with the umpire, where if he'll miss a call off the corner or something like that, he'll show some frustration. But I thought in those couple of instances that happened, he sort of just brushed it away very quickly and just went on to the next pitch, which is good because sometimes like Cole can kind of overthink some things in those moments and spiral in a bad way from that, and he didn't let that happen. Maybe he lost a tad bit of focus after that benches clearing incident, which is when Kansas City scored the 1 run. So I guess, if you're marking him down at all like that there. And then, listen, Isbell hit the ball to the wall. If the wind's not blowing in, is that a tie game? Very well, potentially. But at the same time, you're playing in a massive ballpark with the wind blowing in, and so you can kind of pitch that way in that game. Yeah, great start from Cole.
And give up 6 hits. 3 of those were to Tommy Pham, who
Tommy Pham just always hits.
He does always hit. He's a pain in the ass.
Logan, wasn't he in like 2 of our GM plans over the past couple of years?
Yeah, we always had him just around hanging out, coming to play left field because they always needed somebody.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that he changes teams every year at the trade deadline because
is he an a-hole? Is that why I didn't run?
No, I think it's because he doesn't sign long. He's not on long-term deals, and he's a guy that can go out there and help your team for a pennant. He's on short-term deals and is tradable. And
I thought,
didn't everybody needs an extra outfielder who has a clutch gene that can just go out there and play in the playoffs. He's that guy.
I thought Darling earlier in the series said something about him wearing out his welcome in some.
There was
other
somewhere
spots.
where something went down like that. I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure it was overblown too.
Do you guys remember the fantasy football thing? Wasn't that him?
Yes.
It
What
was
was
Mike
it?
Trout's fantasy league, and
You're ringing a bell. I don't remember what the story was.
he was mad and somebody didn't get a trade through something. I don't remember. It was fantasy football related.
Yeah, whatever.
He was very angry.
The guy's a competitor.
Chill.
The guy's a competitor.
Clearly, Tommy Pham doesn't have kids because once you have kids, you care a lot less about fantasy football.
Oh, I don't know about that. I still care about fantasy football quite a bit.
Okay.
And it's because the people in the league. It goes deep.
Yeah.
It goes deep, and I want them to lose badly.
You want to talk about the Jets for a little while? How you feeling?
No, I don't. I do not. I do not want to talk about the Jets. Jesus Christ.
So obviously Cole was the star of the game tonight. Much needed for the Yankees. And so we were mentioned briefly that the Guardians-Tigers going 5 is actually huge for the Yankees because the Tigers, if they advance, they're going to have to pitch Skubal in this game 5, which means he would be unavailable until game 3, which means he could still pitch twice in a 7-game series because you could go 3 and 7. But the chances of it going 7 are obviously less than it going 5 or 6. So that is definitely a big advantage for the Yankees if they end up playing the Tigers. And I'm not saying, it's definitely going to be the Tigers, but Skubal's one of the best pitchers in the league. So if you're just looking at that aspect of it, that could be a nice bullet dodged.
100%. I think, just the fact that they're playing a game 5 is good for the Yankees because, there's going to be a relatively short turnaround. I'm hoping that both teams, I hope it's a 5-5 game going into the 9th and it goes into extra innings so that they have to use multiple relievers. Like you want them to use everything, exhaust their teams to advance. That's what you're looking for essentially at this point. But yeah, Yankees are in the driver's seat right now. And I mean, the way you look at it, let's say if the Padres were to win that series, they play tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
They play tomorrow. If they win that series, then the Yankees would be in the driver's seat for home field throughout the playoffs.
The only way the
Dodgers
Yankees
are the only ones that would be able that have the better record, right?
Yeah, the only way the Yankees are on the road for the World Series is if they play the Dodgers. If they play the Mets or the Padres, they play at home to start the World Series.
I gotta tell you, I didn't really see on the radar that a Subway Series was a possibility for 2024. I didn't know that was a possibility. I'm not getting ahead of myself because the Yankees have work to do still, obviously.
So do the Mets.
And so do the Mets. It's all available, but it's possible still. It's possible, which would be fun and interesting. But especially
if you had to rank the World Series matchups from just like a national standpoint, obviously
It's
it's
Yankees,
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Yankees Dodgers.
Yeah.
And then do you think it's Yankees Mets next?
Over the Padres, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or anybody from the AL Central.
But the,
yeah,
but the
that's it.
Padres, well, the AL Central, throw the AL
The
Central.
Padres
No
don't have
one-
a
if-
big fan base.
If it's not the Yankees out of the American League, baseball's not going to be happy. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Baseball
but
doesn't
the
want the
Padres,
Padres in it.
no, but the Padres, while they don't have a huge fan base, I feel like they've gotten a lot of attention over. I know Soto
have
was there and he's not
superstars.
there anymore. Yeah, they've gotten a lot of attention over the past few years. That would be kind of an interesting storyline, though, if Soto ends up playing the Padres in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting storyline for like a little bit. I mean, by far the clear winner in that
It's
in the
Yankees,
storylines
Dodgers.
though is Dodgers, yeah, or Yankees Mets.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people outside the tri-state area are loving that, but there's just so many people in the country that are from this area that are scattered throughout the country that it would have national appeal for sure.
I think that Subway Series would do numbers. I mean,
Definitely.
Sure.
It would be
I mean,
fun.
any World Series that has the Yankees Dodgers in it are gonna, even if they're not in the same series, if one of those teams is in it, it's gonna do better numbers. Because like, think about last year, Rangers Diamondbacks, like
That's
that was
brutal.
a very unappealing World Series nationally.
I don't
mean,
remember
frankly,
a thing about it.
Yankees
Exactly.
Dodgers is as good. You can't get better than that. That's the best you could do, especially with Shohei versus Judge.
For sure.
I mean, the storylines for that are crazy good.
Yeah, and not that the Cubs, then Indians back in 2016, from a just team perspective, but like the storylines in that made that one of the biggest ever. But that was just because of the storyline.
Well, and also that would the reason why is because everybody was rooting for the Cubs because it's not like
Except me.
well they were not a franchise, at least from my seat, and I think a lot of people's seat. I think this was a general purview. They I don't know. The only thing I can compare it to was the Red Sox, and obviously I didn't want the Red Sox ever to break that curse. But the Cubs, I'm like, break the curse.
No, I didn't want them to break the curse. I was also rooting for Cleveland then because we were huge Andrew Miller fans back then.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think
You
I was
guys
rooting for the
weren't
Cubs.
huge Aroldis Chapman fans back then?
Not as big of Royals Chapman fans as we were Andrew Miller fans back in 2016. No.
Yeah,
Fine.
Andrew Miller was a stud.
All right.
Speak of that,
well,
Yankee
yeah.
bullpen didn't give up a single run this series.
Yeah,
Lights out.
that's crazy. And,
Weaver,
and
3 saves. Holmes,
Clay Holmes
looks
was-
great.
dude, I don't care. That thing is not a sinker. I don't care what you say to me. That is not a sinker. That is a 2-seam fastball. That is beautiful. It's a beautiful 2-seam fastball. It's not a sinker. It's a 2-seam fastball. And that
Be
thing,
honest though, when he
it was-
spiked those first 2, you got a little oh crap. You said a
Yes.
little oh crap.
of course, but then he came back, and that strike 3, was it to Garcia? I mean, you can't paint that corner any more perfectly than he did, and the fact that the ball was off the plate and had late bite. I mean, that looked like early 2023 Clay Holmes coming out there and just dominating. That's what it looked like.
We said obviously the storyline all season was, is this bullpen going to be able to survive in the playoffs? We didn't think so. It so far has proved us wrong through an ALDS. If they can get good performances out of Weaver, which they've been getting, Holmes, which they've been getting, Canely, which they got a couple times this series, and 1 or 2 other guys to just be competent, that's a complete game changer. It is then entirely up to the offense showing up.
Yeah, 100%. I hope I eat crow, eat my shoe about the bullpen, and they come out and continue to play the way that they are, because as what we were watching during the season, any Yankee fan that watched the product that was out there, even if you see some of the good numbers from the bullpen, it didn't feel like that. And the bullpen now, the guys are just putting up zeros, and they're not walking anybody either. Like, that's the other thing. It's like Clay Holmes' control, knock on wood, is there. You know, Canely is there. Weaver's been unbelievable. So
No, it's the offense. They scored 14 runs in the series, which is 3.5 runs per game. Like, offense is going to have to do better than that if you're going to win a World Series.
Yeah. No doubt. 3 for 10, you want.
That's fine.
When there's
3 for 10 is
opportunities and
fine.
runners to score, like that's kind of where you need to be at minimum, to be honest. But
Yeah, but
you're
not always going to get 10 opportunities is a lot in a playoff game to get.
And
so
that's
you
without
might
the
get
big home
4
run
or
too.
5.
That's without the big home run. Like there haven't been a ton of like
They got
big
2 home runs this series, right?
Yeah, I know, but there wasn't like a big 3-run shot or there wasn't a game swinging home run.
But I'm right,
happened.
right? They only got 2 homers, Stanton's the other night and Glaber's in game 1.
Jazz hit the solo shot.
Oh, Jazz
hit
hit the
the
solo shot.
Loss. But I think that's it.
But so, yeah, listen.
Glaber's was a 2-run shot, right? And then
in the first
and then
game,
the other 2 were solo shots. So yeah, again, like that the Glaber home run was big.
But I look at first inning opportunities in this series that they squandered, and obviously it's not entirely on Judge, but Judge came up 3 times once in game 1, then game 2, and then in this game 4, where opportunities for him to drive in runs or move things forward in the first inning. And all of those games could have potentially been different if he did positive things in those situations. Now, obviously, he's not going to come through every situation. That's unrealistic. But he's good enough to come through 1 out of 3. You agree?
We're getting there.
But
last 2 games have been positive steps forward. I think
yes,
the
but
man is building that
you
confidence.
see how different these games could have been. Like if he gets
100%.
a base hit in that first inning tonight, maybe Walker's out of the game in the first inning. Maybe that unravels and the Yankees put up 5 runs in the first inning.
Yes, there's a lot of things. A lot of things could go different if Judge is hitting in that first inning, and this happened multiple times with him. Just the strikeout that he had earlier in the series, this one with the double play. Yes, of course, that he's a massive difference maker in there. Like there's no disputing that. But to your credit a little bit, like the Yankees didn't play all that great, and they just beat the Kansas City Royals just because the Kansas City Royals aren't that good of a team.
Kansas City Royals they went from 56 wins. How many times did they say it? 56 wins to 86 wins.
Don't forget also that the Kansas City Royals struggled mightily at the end of the year. Like they barely got into the playoffs at that point. You're not saying the same thing for the Tigers if they are to take that, if they take the game 5 and get in there.
One of the reasons the Tigers were able to make the playoffs is because the Royals struggled so much.
Yes, but they were also
struggled.
playing well. Their pitching has absolutely showed up. Like that's to me one of their strongest. And the fact that Skubal is throwing in game 5 and won't be available until you say game 3, that means he's only going to be able to pitch. Maybe he would come out in a game 7.
Well, game 7 would be regular rest. If
that would be regular rest. Okay. Well, you hope that it doesn't go to game 7 against that team.
Sure,
at that
exactly.
point, right?
And then who knows? Maybe Detroit is forced into a situation to throwing Skubal in a short rest earlier in the series because they're facing elimination. And could he nut up and shove? Sure, but that's always benefit hitters when the pitcher's on short rest.
Yeah. No,
so
absolutely.
I guess that means you guys would rather face Cleveland, or are we not?
I don't
care.
I see Kevin asking the same question in the chat here. I'm not going to call out a team, to be honest. I hate.
I don't think it matters.
But we haven't said Cleveland's name once. You guys are just very scared.
No, I'm. If I'm looking at those 2 teams, which is the hotter team, I think that Detroit has.
Do we know who Cleveland's pitching in?
No, they haven't said yet.
Detroit.
Game 2 started with Matthew Boyd, though.
I just don't think that
Detroit has better pitching. I think Detroit they have better pitching.
Detroit is also probably like they're the equivalent to the Diamondbacks last year. They're the hot team at the end of the year that's on a heater and might shock the world, right? Like that's what they're saying in their clubhouses. Like, let's shock the world. But I just don't think either of those teams, and the Royals are lumped in, shouldn't be able to match up with the Yankees. So I don't care which one it is.
There's a guy that is on the Cleveland Guardians that is a as you know, if you've listened to the show for any amount of time, how much I am obsessed with.
Does he play third base?
He could play third base. He could play second base. He could play shortstop. He could play the outfield. He could catch.
Sure.
He could do anything you want. Jose Ramirez is just a man amongst amongst smaller men. So he's one of those guys that does nut up in big moments. And frankly, Josh Naylor just scares me. So the Naylor brothers are one of those, like, looking
if you're
at
looking from
Josh Naylor cradling the baby as he's running around the base
I
path.
mean,
A lot of history with Cleveland.
I was gonna say, if we're looking at like recent history, there's some stuff with the Guardians that could make this. And I love Quan as a player. I think he's always a tough out.
He is a tough out. He's one of the hardest outs in baseball.
Jose Ramirez has not had a good postseason. He's hitting 143.
Oh, that's what I want.
Doesn't matter.
I want a Jose Ramirez as due.
Yeah, me.
He hit a
That's
big
what they
home
say
run
about
today.
Aaron Judge.
Didn't he hit a home run today?
I don't know. I'm just looking at his batting average.
I'll let
I'm
you
pretty
know.
sure he hit a home run today.
He went 1 for 5 with an RBI, so it could have been a home run. And Cleveland did come back late in this game.
It was a home run, 5th inning.
Cleveland came
outs.
back to score 2 in the 7th and 1 in the 9th to win the game.
Yeah. That's right. I was watching that game because I almost missed
You
the
know
first.
who's not had a good postseason? Class A.
Yeah. What's his name?
Isn't it Class A?
Class A? I don't know. You're putting the wrong. I think you're putting the wrong emphasis.
It's Emmanuel Class A.
On the wrong syllable.
You say it Emmanuel Class A, right?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
That's how you say it. That's right. You got it.
Class
Doing
A.
a good job.
I don't
You
know.
say his name.
I won't say it. I won't say his name. I will never say that man's name. Okay? That name will never come out of my mouth. That name will never come out of my mouth. But that offense, like, Josh Naylor is the scary looking individual. Like, probably one of the
It's
last
Class
guys
A.
I'd want.
I'm looking at the pronunciation on Baseball Reference. It's Class A.
One of the last people I would want to meet in a dark alley is Josh Naylor.
Emmanuel
I think.
Clace.
And
Yeah, Josh
he's
Naylor.
just one of those guys who
He's
feels like in a big moment I just don't want him up.
He's a dude that takes like a shot glass and smashes it over your head at a bar.
Oh, a shot glass? No, he takes
Whatever.
He takes a much bigger piece
Sure,
of glass.
whatever it is.
Yeah. If you're breaking a shot glass over my head, something bad is happening. You're smashing it with your hand. It's not good. Or you're throwing it from a distance.
I meant one of those like those rocks glasses. What are they called?
A rocks glass.
Highball. What are those glasses called? Where they're like not. You drink whiskey out of them. What are they called? It's late. My brain's not working.
Anyway, it's a whiskey glass.
It's like a big shot glass, but like not like a.
Okay, I got it.
It's
a
not like a
glass.
full glass, but it's like a.
Maybe it's a pint glass. Maybe we
not
just
a
go.
pint
Maybe
glass.
we just stick with pint glass. It's got
I
a
don't think
thick
that
wall,
dude.
it would
I don't
hurt.
think that dude's drinking beer. I think that dude's drinking straight liquor.
He's not. You think he's gonna break his glass? No, he's grabbing someone else's glass and smashing it over your head, and he's gonna drink a beer on top of you.
Still the
That's
most
what's happening.
Still the most outrageous home run celebration ever. When
The most outrageous. And I saw people in the crowd during that game just because Bevan called it out. She's like, "Why is someone cradling a baby?" I'm like, "Because Josh Naylor did that when he hit a home run and looked ridiculous." And apparently, when you go to Cleveland, bunch of assholes. The fan base out there too. If you're a visitor, it's just rumor on the street.
I mean, isn't that what anyone would say about going into opposing territory?
For some reason, there's just something extra.
I feel like St. Louis is always like, oh, they're the nicest fans, but like
that's Midwest.
Yankees fans get a bad rap, Boston fans get a bad, Philly fans get a terrible rap.
Well, Philly fans deserve it.
LA Dodger fans get terrible raps. Terrible rap.
Yeah, they
for
fight.
People
They
going,
fight a
yeah.
lot. We'll just yell at you. We'll just yell. We'll just call you an asshole. Like
you
the whole
can yell
stadium
at
will
me.
just call you an asshole.
You can
and
yell
that's
at
it.
me.
You just get ridiculed.
Yeah, yell at me. Don't fight me. Like let's be adults
come on,
here.
man. Like I'm not here for that. We can argue.
Let's have some good-natured fun yelling at each other.
Oh yeah, we can bicker. Just please don't hit me.
Yeah, don't spit on me.
I don't want to be involved in that.
I don't want to get peed on. Just chill. All right, let's wrap it up. Yankees going to the ALCS. We're going to do a preview episode once we know the opponent. I guess so. The ALCS starts Monday, and so we'll know.
What day is today? Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday. So the Cleveland
God damn,
Detroit.
it's another long layoff.
The Cleveland Detroit game is Saturday.
2 days.
So we'll know obviously Saturday night. So we can do a preview pod at some point on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. Let's again hope the game goes into multiple extra innings. Hopefully every pitcher gets exhausted and they have to throw position players. That's what I'm rooting for.
All right. We will talk to you again when we know who the Yankees will be playing in the championship series. Thanks for listening.
See ya.